What's up? It's the gospel. It's the gospel. It's the gospel. It's been a long day. But we're gonna do it anyway. I can't help it. Here we go. 2018, live for ya. Check it out. It's the gospel according to Mark with a CG. He is I am he. Just taking some time to tell you what's on my mind. Check it out, check it out, check it out. One time, I'm the old school type to get your girly hype. She called my 800 number when she want that pipe. FaceTime, Facebook Live, or let's Skype, Snapchat. All you rap cats get left swiped and dismissed with a swiftness. Use a witness to be MARC is #1 on your wish list. That's how it is. It's an actual fact, cause I'm practically supernatural, Jack. Yeah. That's how it is. What y'all know about that? Old school, y'all. Old school, y'all. Yeah, Check it out. I want to say a little something. Earlier today, I saw this video, and I've been watching these videos, and this thing keeps on coming up regarding Black Panther. People are making the case that Black Panther and Erik Killmonger are kind of a metaphor for Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And people are putting that on the Black Panther T'Challa and Erik Killmonger. And personally, I find it to be disrespectful. I think I've said on video before, one of my heroes in life, one of my very few heroes, is the one and only El-Hajj Malik Al-Shabazz, aka Malcolm X. And for you guys to be putting Erik Killmonger as Malcolm X is so disrespectful and is so inaccurate. I just had to speak up because when I saw the movie, look, I love the character of Erik Killmonger. I made an earlier video about that where I felt like he was a great antagonist. He was a great villain, played expertly by Michael B. Jordan, and he has some humdinger lines in that movie. Like there was some, like he got all the best lines basically. And I can understand his appeal, and I can understand people being attracted to his character. In particular, some of your wannabe militant black people who see this movie. That's great. You know, if you can find inspiration in the Erik Killmonger character, that's fine. But I do want to point out that he was a villain, okay? So before you jump behind this character and claim that he is the great liberator, I want you to keep in mind a couple of things, okay? And one of them would be that we can't forget that the man's name is Killmonger. Okay, Killmonger. What does that tell you? It tells you he is a killer, all right? And we have to keep that in mind. He's a murderer. He had all those dots all over his body for every kill that he had, all right? And that's just the ones you can see. You know he probably had some like on his ass. You know what I'm saying? So my man was killing people. And you can't tell me that everybody he killed had it coming. I'm sure he killed a lot of innocent people to get where he was going. All right, and once he got where he was going and he whooped T'Challa's ass, remember, he was going to do away with all of the traditions of Wakanda. Like he wanted to get back to Wakanda, but he was also going to do away with all of their traditions, all of their customs. As far as he was concerned, he was going to be the last king. Remember, he said, just burn it all, you know? And if they weren't going to burn it all, remember, he was choking out that woman, you know? So that man had no real emotional, loving tie to the motherland. And we have to remember that because a ruler has to rule with mercy. A ruler has to be able to rule with common sense. Erik Killmonger was all emotion, all right? Now, I can understand Erik Killmonger's character as a character that went wrong. He went wrong. He was twisted, as so many of us are who grow up in some of the rougher areas of this country. I can totally dig that. I can get that. But you don't exalt people like that. You school people like that. You educate people like that. You take their passion and you make it constructive. And that's what you need in an Erik Killmonger. And that's what Malcolm X did for himself. Malcolm X, once he got arrested, educated himself when he was in jail. He read the dictionary. He taught himself how to read. He was refined. All right, because when he went into prison, remember, he was Detroit Red. He was into pimping, you know what I mean, prostitution. He was a hustler. He was a gambler. And he had no knowledge of who he was in his heart and in himself. He was a criminal. Once he got into jail, he began to study the Nation of Islam. And he learned how to clean himself up, you know, how to be a little bit more a little bit more informed, a lot more informed. He learned how to stand for his principles, and he learned that, he learned the meaning of loyalty, okay, and devotion. And then later on, after he had his falling out with the Nation of Islam, he made the pilgrimage to Mecca, and he embraced mainstream, well, I don't want to say mainstream, but he embraced true Islam. He took his Shahada, and he realized his place among humanity. You know what I mean? And this is something that I talk about all the time. I talk about us embracing our humanity. And this is what Malcolm X did. So towards the end of his career, he was El-Hajj Malik al-Shabazz. He was, of course, always known as Malcolm X, but his ties to the Nation of Islam were severed by that time. And he even wrote in his autobiography that he was enjoying the experience of praying amongst all people in humanity. Indians, East Indians, Latinos, everybody. White people, white Muslims. So he knew that humanity was the future. So when you want to bring up Malcolm X in the same sentence as Erik Killmonger, please give me a fucking break. All right? That's not what Malcolm X stood for. He didn't stand for killing innocents. He didn't stand for being overly emotional. These were not his attributes. So please, brothers, in all respect, in all love, please stop comparing Erik Killmonger, a fictional character, to one of our greatest heroes of all time. A great American, a great human being, Malcolm X, El-Hajj Malik al-Shabazz. He deserves so much more than that. Hold on, guys. And I want you to understand that. Like I said, with all due love and respect. All right, I'm not saying this to be disrespectful to anyone. I'm not saying it to be condescending, but I want you to pay Malcolm X the respect that he deserves. All right, so Black Panther was a great movie, and I enjoyed it, even with, some of its technical flaws. But I must be honest, this is one of the things that I was worried about when I saw the movie. I was worried that some people were going to take this movie and run in the other direction, all right, with it. Just go completely extreme. Now, what you have to understand, all these people who are saying that Erik Killmonger was the hero and T'Challa was the villain, understand something. You have to have a world view. You have to see this planet that we're on. You have to understand that there's not going to be a fucking race war, okay? This is something that we're being led to believe. This is something that we're being manipulated into entertaining, as if we're not all part of one big human family. Now, we all have to challenge ourselves to get over that bullshit notion, because if that's how it's going to go down, and everyone's just going to run out in the street and start slaughtering each other based upon skin color, which is the dumbest shit ever, then we have to understand we would be totally beyond reason at that point. Humanity would have disintegrated. You're talking about the absolute end times. There will be no victor to a so-called race war. All right? There are people in here in this world who are killing based upon race, but those are murderers. You understand? You will never be on team murderer if you're a decent human being. Even if you force yourself to get a kill and that person is just guilty of being a different color than you, if you're a decent person, how will you feel inside your heart? Understand what you're asking for. That's not what you are. It's not who you are. What happened to when they go low, we go high? What happened to that bullshit? After you get through being a killer and a murderer of innocence, how will you govern after that? How will you live after that? Use your mind and use your imagination. Erik Killmonger was a fictional character. Yes, he rang, some of the points that he made rang true. I do understand the frustration of growing up oppressed and growing up depressed and degraded. I understand that. But the challenge is to get over it. And when I say get over it, I don't mean forget it. I mean use that anger, use that passion inside of you to do something productive. Okay? If you want to be great, simply work to be great. And believe me, everything else will fall into place. This is what you teach our kids. You teach our kids not to be held back. You teach our kids not to have excuses. You teach them to go forward. You understand? And you teach them to rock that shit, man. And if they can't do it, they die trying. That's always been my message. I'm always about humanity, and I'm always about dying trying. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever you're striving for, you never, ever, ever stop. and you teach that to your kids. All right? So I just wanted to set that shit straight because there are some videos that I've been watching by people that I do respect very much who are saying that Erik Killmonger is Malcolm X. No, he is not. He's a fictional character who rang some bells, who made some good points. And to me, he's an iconic character that people will talk about for a long time. But was he a symbol of where Black America should be going? Absolutely fucking not. Now think about it, brothers. I'm not saying that we're not that good. I'm saying that we're better than that. Okay? So that's where I'm coming from. I'm coming at you from a place of love and respect. And I hope that you take it that way. This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. For you, fresh, 1983, 2018. Yeah, rock on.